This video is my review on the film The Aeronauts. In the film The Aeronauts, the amazing characters Felicity Jones and Eddie Redmayne starred. It was an amazing film for many reasons. I would say it's one of the best films I've watched in the past 25 years. The coolest part of the film is that I happen to live in the UK, and the film came out here in the UK a month earlier than it came out in the USA. That's very unusual. I've watched many films in my life, and usually it comes out in America first, and then we get it here in the UK, or when I lived in Israel. Usually they come out in America first. I remember when I lived in Israel and I would go watch films, it was always close to a year later that we got to see them. In the UK, it's more like 6 months. But here, we usually get to see them 6 months later. But this time, it was a month earlier than it is shown on the screens in America. Why was this film so unique? I want to start off with the fact that Eddie Redmayne was the main character. He starred in The Danish Girl. And I watched The Danish Girl 4 years ago. It was a fascinating film about a transgender person who made history. Fascinating film, and Eddie Redmayne did a great job in the film. Of course, there were a lot of criticism from the transgender community. Why wasn't a transgender person used for the film? I'm not going to get into that today. And I'm not going to get into that at all because I do believe that it's important for a film to have who they find to be fitting for the role. So in this film called Aeronauts, there was Amelia Wren and James Glacier, who both starred for the main characters of the film. Those two characters were Felicity Jones and Eddie Redmayne. Why was this film so unique, so unusual, so relatable to my story? I'll tell you why. Jessica Madden did that kind of thing. And the powerful pertinency of the fact that Jessica Madden being so similar to this character lies in the fact that there have been transgender people before who have tried to have contact with their children. Before me as well. But I tried to reach higher. I tried to make a change in history. And whilst I haven't been successful yet, I believe I will hit success. I don't give up. You'll see in this film, the two characters simply don't give up. They're not the giving up types. It's very relevant because the terrain, if you like, I don't know if the right word is terrain, the storm, the brewing storm that was unfolding when these two characters were flying up there was unbelievable. Was, how should I call it? How should I refer to this? It was just unbelievable. The objection, the rejection both characters faced before they got to the sky and when they got to the sky was something unbelievable. You know, I look back at my story and I remember 5-6 years ago, I remember telling myself, Jessica, you're going to face unbelievable objection. You're going to face rejection at every angle. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into. Trying to identify as yourself, trying to save your life. You have no right to save your life. I remember telling myself back then. You're not going to survive this. You don't have a right to save your life. You're going to be killed for this. And I really believed that. But the oddity was that when I actually got out, when I actually got into the balloon, I thought, hey, what are they doing to me? Why is this storm so painful, so difficult to bear? Looking back, I would say that 90% of the rejection I anticipated never materialized. That's 90% of rejection. Nonetheless, when the rejection happened, I forgot everything. I forgot what I told myself 2-3 years prior, and I only remembered the rejection I was going to face and how it felt. That's exactly how 2 characters felt on this film. Felicity Jones and Eddie Redmayne, or if you want to refer to them in the actual film characters, they are Amelia Wren and James Glacier. James Glacier faced a lot of objection prior to his ascent. Scientists told him, "You're crazy. What are you getting yourself into? Do you have any idea what you're driving yourself into?" That's what scientists told him. He wasn't deterred. He wasn't deterred. The interesting part is the fact that his father, who seemed to be suffering from dementia, turned to him and said, "You know, I've only known a James who's 10 years old." The father was struggling with dementia. He didn't talk sense as a result. For part of the conversation, he did talk sense, but at this point, he wasn't talking sense. But I'm going to point out, though, that interestingly and ironically enough, when James was reaching the peaks, the heights, they never had reached before. They made history. They traveled upward 7,000 miles. James turns to Amelia and he says, "I've been insensible. I think I lost my head." And, if I'm going to be honest about it, I think James probably would not have allowed Amelia to descend had it been up to him. But he had to lose his mind because of the cold, the ferocious cold up there. He had to lose his mind to sort of say, "Okay, yeah, you could call for a descent now." And descending was not easy either. Again, very symbolic of Jessica Madden's journey. In every way, in any and every way, which way you could imagine. Prior to getting up there, prior to Jessica Madden getting off the ground, transitioning, trying to reacquaint with her offsprings, trying to reconnect with her offsprings, with objection and rejection all around her. Don't forget, for those who don't know, I've had my story carried on over 100 websites. No, my name is not referred to by name because obviously that's the way it works in the court arena. But my story is carried on over 100 websites worldwide. And then when I won the court in December 2017, December 21st to be exact, the names would change slightly. There was more allowance to sort of give the last name between the two parties. First was JVB case, then it became the M&M case. But whatever it is, I made history. I changed law in this country. And despite the objection I faced as a result of it, and despite the rejection I faced thereafter as well, I faced rejection afterwards. People who came along with me on this journey because they wanted the publicity, because they wanted certain personal gains. And when that gain was over, they disappeared. That's something I also have to get my head around. Rejection once again. But that, from my perspective, that's, looking back at my life, looking at myself today, I realized, especially looking at the film today, which was extremely healing because of it, I realized that's what you're going to face in this world. You're going to face people who just come along with you on your journey because it's a free ride. A little bit of publicity, a little bit of changing the law, something sentimental, something important. People will come along with you. But when the ride is over, goodbye. You made the law. I had somebody tell me, "Jessica, you changed the law in this country. Now, goodbye. Have a nice life. That's why I was with you whilst that was happening. It's over. Goodbye. Have a nice life. Meet you in the next life." It's something you're going to face. If you want to do something sentimental, if you want to change history, if you want to be strong, you got to anticipate that kind of thing. This movie really correlates to Jessica Madden's story. Symbolic, and it's the first time I found a movie like this in 25 years. What other uniqueness I found in the film? the uniqueness of the two characters. One of them, and I've even seen them being interviewed and saying this, it was Eddie Redmayne who said this mainly. He said that he's very stern, very serious in the film, whilst his opposing, if you like, Amelia Wren is having a party. She's out there being all humorous prior to their ascent, and she's waving to the crowds, all standing around her, whilst James Glacier is all serious for flying. Why'd you come late? And she's not deterred. She's like, I came late because I did. Why? What? She's not even deterred. She doesn't even answer. You can't make her feel undermined. But the two characters seem to be so opposing. And they even mentioned afterwards, he mentioned himself, we were such opposing characters on film. It's a beautiful uniqueness, which also correlates to what even we ourselves are at times. At times we're very serious, but at times we sort of get things and we get our head around things and we become a lot more humorous and a lot more relaxed thereafter. It was a very beautiful thing to see that, actually. And it was also beautiful to see the fact that girl power, girl empowerment, and you saw that in film because Amelia had that strength which James just didn't have. She climbed up there, on top of the balloon. On top of the balloon, she climbed up there. She ascended up there in order to try to make the descent happen, which was not happening yet. She couldn't make it materialize, and they had to save their lives. They were freezing cold up there. It's 7 miles upward. An amazing film in every which way. Now I just want to drop a couple of quotes from the film, which I really liked. I wrote down a couple of quotes while I was watching the film. This is from Amelia Wren. I believe there are answers in the sky up there. I believe there are answers in the sky. Up there is where I found the greatest happiness. That she said to her sister prior to her ascent. And then there were a few women in the background while she was preparing the plans for the journey, etc. They said, women don't belong in balloons. And she makes such a show of herself. Who said that? Another woman. Another quote from Amelia. Have you noticed it's completely silent up here? You know who felt like that? Jessica Madden. I remember after I transitioned and after I changed my life, I remember saying to myself, it's completely silent over here. And I really, really connected to that bit of the film. It was powerful and poignant. I remember really connecting to that point. Amelia Wren, we are traveling into an unknown. Jessica Madden also traveled into an unknown. Amelia Wren, when there is a storm, you could either rise above it or below it. Choice is yours. That was when she was having to remain strong and not unafraid and undeterred, whilst James Glacier was like a little hesitant. It was towards the beginning. Sister Amelia said to her, here is the happiness, not the damn balloon. I've had people tell me that prior to my ascent. 2 years prior, scientists said to James Glacier, find another madman to get into a balloon with. Perhaps the French. Yeah, the British really disliked the French back then, and even a bit today. Or that woman. Find the French or that woman. James Glacier at 7,000 feet. We're now higher than any man or any woman has ever been. I love that, because it was a woman with him. Rather, a man with her. Amelia Wren. Thank you for taking me up into your balloon, Mr. Glacier. James Glacier responds, thank you for taking me up into your balloon, Miss Wren. Likewise. Those was likewise. Symbolic, and again, once again, relating to Jessica Madden's journey. What I mean by that is the people who have come along with me on this journey have watched my films and supported me on my amazing YouTube channel. Surely the sky lies Surely the sky lies open. Let us go that way. In other words, when you go up to the sky, it's open. It's open. Let us go that way. In this life, you are given an opportunity to change the world. James, I've been insensible. I think I lost my head. I probably said that a couple of times in my case. So I lost my head at one point or another. James says to Amelia, I don't know what you did for me up there, but I do know that it was a great act. That was when she got up there and she pulled the ropes in order to in order for them to be able to drop and descend. Amelia Wren, I don't want to hear from Newton. I want to hear from you. That was when James was on and on about his scientific everything. Every question she asked him is about how he's beat science, how Isaac Newton was also rejected and people called him crazy, etc. She said, no, I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about our relationship. Let's get back down to the ground. Let's talk about just the fact that we are amazing together in a relationship, so to speak. Amelia Wren turns to James and she says, I'm not sure I am supposed to survive this. James says, I'm not returning alone. It's either both of us or neither of us. Amelia Wren turns to James when they have come back to the ground and she says to him, can you stand? James says, I'd rather not. Amelia turns to him and says, and if I help you? James says, then I will. It's a very powerful message in that, and it envelopes a lot of what I'm saying. Amelia Wren turns to James and she says, we all tell our story not for pleasure, but for the advancement of knowledge and for the good of all. Again, correlates to Jessica Maddy's journey. Amelia Wren, you don't change the world by looking at it, but for the way you choose to live in it. I like that one. You don't change the world by looking at it, but for how you choose to live in it. Amelia Wren says, look up, the sky lies open. And then Amelia Wren turns to James Glacier and says, your reputation is built on paper and my reputation is built on screens. That was when James Glacier was busy being very serious and couldn't be humorous. It's sort of correlated to his scientific identity as a person as well. Very, very serious all the time. Scientists are not as knowledgeable in many ways as spiritualists. And that's also worth pointing out in this film, because this film was a lot about science. And actually, Amelia Wren was not about science. She was a pilot, so to speak. Pilot. She wasn't into the science of it all. She was into the spirituality of it all, into the humor, into the realizing the more important things about life and how there's something above just life. But at the same time, I think James Glacier was also above life, because he said that he's not seeking his life to be saved. He's seeking to find findings which will help humankind and will help save people. He doesn't care about saving his own life specifically. Both of them had a spiritual element to them, although James was a scientist. That's my powerful review of the film. What I think of the film? It was an amazing film. It was a powerful film. It was a pertinent film. It was very relatable. And the impact you felt when they were up there, up in the clouds, was just astounding. It was amazing. That's this film today. That's this video today. If you enjoyed today's video, smash that like button. And why not feel free to share this video with your friends, family, acquaintances, peers, whoever you like. Feel free to share away, and bring more people to this amazing community. I want to wish you high vibes. And if you have any comments or thoughts, please leave your comments or thoughts down in the comment section down below. If you've watched the film today, the first day of the release was today. That's the coolest part about it. Please leave your thoughts or comments down in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for your feedback. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. I love you.